Well, there's new fallout for the Southern Poverty Law Center, a left-wing group, after its 2016 field guide inaccurately characterized our guest, Maajid Nawaz, and the Quilliam Foundation like this. This is what they said about him. They said he is an anti-Muslim extremist. He and Quilliam, his organization, caused hate-based violence and criminal hate violence, end quote. The group now issuing an apology and paying out a huge legal settlement. Maajid Nawaz is the founding chairman of Quilliam Foundation and a former radical. He joins us now with his exclusive reaction to this all. So the Southern Poverty Law Center was forced to pay you $3.37 million in this settlement.
$3.375 million.
Okay, don't forget that five.
Yes.
What happened? How in the world did you, as a moderate Muslim who's fighting extremism within Islam, how did you get labeled as an extremist by this group?
It's shocking, Pete. Politically, I'm a liberal. I grew up respecting the work of the Southern Poverty Law Center, and their work against the KKK in particular was something that somebody like me, who looks like me, grew up appreciating. And of course, what they talk about is their main mission statement, to challenge extremism, to stand for human rights, is precisely what we do in Quilliam. Within our own Muslim communities, we challenge Muslim extremists. Of course, nobody can deny that's an issue these days. So I flew in last night from London. Forgive the early morning look. I've just literally got...
Yeah, you look terrible.
I've got off a plane, and I met with the president after this settlement.
Of the Southern Poverty Law?
Yes, I had dinner with him for the first time last night. And I asked him this very question: how on earth could this mistake have happened? And was I set up? Was this a hit job on me? Were you under the undue influence of Muslim extremists? Was this somebody seeking revenge? And Pete, honestly, they genuinely seemed to me sorry for what's happened. Of course, it's an expensive mistake. But they also said to me that it was a genuine mistake. I'm still trying to explore and get to the bottom of this, but so far, what they've said to me is it was genuinely a mistake.
What would the roots of that mistake be? So the left-wing organization looks at you, who are fighting extremists, and says you're the extremist. How does that add up?
Well, you know, we live in polarized times, and there are a few topics that expose populists on either end of the extreme. I call it a triple threat that we face. You know, we've got the populist left, the populist right, and of course the Islamist theocrats, the Muslim extremists. All three of them don't like moderates in the middle. And also, by the way, they also agree on their anti-Semitism. They also don't like Jews. So I put this question to them. I said, how could you be so simplistic? I think what happened, Pete, is that when you move too far to the left, any criticism of a minority community, any criticism in this case of Islam, appears to be a far-right perspective. And so there's a binary worldview that they took. And they didn't understand that just as they in the South would challenge certain extremists, say, for example, in the Bible Belt, that's their mission statement, to challenge, for example, what they consider are Christian fundamentalists, we have those within our community, Muslim fundamentalists, which is what we challenge.
How much of this has to do with political correctness in your mind?
Well, of course, you know, there's increasingly it's becoming difficult to have a sane and rational conversation around Islamist extremism. Our previous President Obama, he couldn't even name the term Islamist extremism. It's difficult to have a nuanced conversation. I am seeking to do so. I said to the Southern Poverty Law Center, we agree on more than we disagree when it comes to challenging extremism. And you know, I really wanted to understand how this could have happened and how I could have ended up on their list.
Well, and when you throw around words like hate, you better be right about it. And in this case, they were wrong, and it cost them You sued them, and it cost them over $3 million.
Well, they settled for that much.
They settled for it. Got it.
$3.375 million, and a public apology, a video apology that seemed to me sincere.
Here is the apology we've got right here. He said, Mr. Nawaz and Quilliam have made valuable and important contributions to public discourse, including by promoting pluralism and condemning both anti-Muslim bigotry and Islamist extremism. So it's good when you see the good guys fight, and ultimately, I don't agree with much the Southern Poverty. I mean, there's work to be done to fight hate, but in this case, when they actually step back and say we were wrong.
Well, this is why I'm not really I'm not here to rub salt into the wounds. I recognise that this is a weak moment for them. They've paid me millions, and it would be, I think, undignified of me to try and put the boot in at this stage. But I do want them to understand that something clearly went wrong in the processes here. If it could have gone wrong for me, which was such a clear case, then there are others who, A, don't have the voice or the platform I had, and B, perhaps don't have the resources to back that. And I want those processes to be checked, because when you call somebody an anti-Muslim extremist, they had a list. Ayaan Hirsi Ali was on it, right? In our communities, that's putting a target on our heads for the jihadists to come and kill us, as happened with Ayaan Hirsi Ali's friend in the Netherlands. These are serious allegations that terrorists take very seriously, and they go after people like us.
That's a great point. Maajid, thank you very much.
Thank you, Pete. A pleasure.
Pleasure having you here.